Welcome to Boston Broadcasting Company News, otherwise known as BBC News. This is your 10 o'clock news with George Washington and John Hancock. On today's agenda, we shall revisit the most iconic events that occurred in Boston over the past decade.
Top stories include the Boston Massacre, the Boston Tea Party, and the heinous intolerable acts. Let's take a flashback to relive these incidents. We will start with the Boston Massacre with Paul Revere.
Thank you, John. I'm Paul Revere, here reporting from Boston. Approximately half an hour ago, on March 5, 1770, 60 outraged colonists swarmed into Boston's town square and berated the redcoats. People claimed that snowballs, rocks, and other sharp objects were mistakenly thrown at the troops. The colonists were angry with the townshend axe. Unfortunately, the belligerent redcoats opened fire at the innocent colonists, slaughtering 8 and wounding 3 more. Sitting here beside me is James, an emotionally scarred eyewitness, who is willing to give his own account of the dreadful execution. James, what do you recall from this massacre?
The event is too ghastly to express in words. I'll show you a video instead.
About face?
Who threw that?
Who did that?
Get away!
We're gonna shoot! We're gonna shoot! Shoot me!
Give me liberty! James, that truly was a terrible tragedy. Thank you, Robert. You truly are an American hero. I'm Paul Revere. Now back to you, George.
Thank you, Paul, for that appalling tale. We will now take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned for the next segment.
Liberties, get your liberties for sale.
Liberties, eh? How much do they cost?
Well, sir, if you buy them right now, they're £15. Plus, you get independence for free. Plus, for a limited time, you get this tomato slicer.
A tomato slicer?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think I can afford that.
Well,
Liberties for sale?
yes, sir.
I'll take them.
Definitely.
Here's the latest advance on the stamp act. Keep it between you and me, mate.
Definitely, sir.
Bloody redcoat, what do I get?
Well, don't get your panties in a bunch. I'll give you this tomato slicer free of charge.
This tomato slicer? I don't want this. You'll regret this. I'll be back.
Welcome back to BBC News. Our next story centers around the Boston Tea Party, one of the most compelling displays of patriotism in colonial history. We now take you live to the Boston Harbor with Thomas Jefferson.
Thank you, John. On December 16, 1773, a group of patriots known as the Sons of Liberty ransacked British ships owned by the East India Company. The colonists claimed that the British tried to economically restrain them with this new monopoly on tea, thus infuriating the colonists. Such policies evoked a radical display of defiance, with Maynard Sam Adams, the leader of the Sons of Liberty. Sam, how do you justify such drastic actions?
Well, you see, Thomas, even though the East India Company tea was cheaper, the London government deliberately imposed a monopoly on the tea in order to save the company from bankruptcy. The reason for this was a major source of tax revenue. Therefore, we patriots believed it was necessary to take a stand to show that we won't obey their every whim.
Inspiring words, Sam Adams. Thank you, and God bless. Now we will show you some footage we acquired from the scene. Wow, John. That's all I can say. Back to you.
Thank you, Thomas Jefferson. Keep watching as we take a quick commercial break.
Come here, come here, come here. Come closer, we've got smuggling in the action. Let's go, right here, right here. Closer, look, right there, right there. Got the goods.
Yeah, I got it right here. Tomorrow, same time?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You good man.
Our next story covers the effects of the infamous Intolerable Acts on Boston. We take you with Thomas Paine to the Boston port.
Thank you, John. Reporting at the scene, my name is Thomas Paine. Here with me is John Adams, a victim of the persecution of rights by the British. So John, what particular aspects of the Intolerable Act have been especially restricting?
No good news since the start of the Intolerable Acts in 1774 has arrived. The closing down at the Boston port, a major cornerstone of our economy, was a huge blow. With trade restricted, the majority of urban Bostonians are under much distress. Another troubling law was the ability of British soldiers who committed savage crimes in the colonies to demand hearings in Britain, where they would have a much greater chance of being acquitted. The injustice of the acts has brought only misery and anger towards we humble colonists.
Thank you, John Adams. We'll now be showing you a simulation of the Boston Port Act.
Hello, I'm Jack Sparrow, and I want you to trade with the Americans.
I'm sorry, but the recent uprisings have resulted in the closing of Boston's port.
Wow, what a great simulation! Now, to wrap up the show, let's head back to the studio.
Without a doubt, Boston has been a major center of political controversy, a target of violence and oppression and patriotism. Boston is indeed a unique city. We employees of BBC News deeply support the Bostonians and encourage them to stand up against the injustice provided by the British. Perhaps in the near future, Boston will no longer be encumbered by such controversy. This ends our program for tonight. Join us tomorrow for an exclusive analysis of current political developments in Boston.
Same time next week. You good man.